7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello and welcome to Little Blessings Online. So glad you could join us. This is your baby and toddler group whenever you want it and whatever time. So I hope you're sitting comfortable and have a nice drink with you.
Yeah, what have you got today, Joe?
I've got lemon and ginger herbal tea.
You see, I love the smell of lemon and ginger, but it's not what I've got. I prefer a different herbal. I've got a glass of milk, my bones and my teeth. It's all good. We're always supported by other people who help this all come to life. And we are, as ever, joined by Stephen as director, and Nathan and Peter are making all the buttons work at the moment. There they are. What toys you got today, then, boys?
I've got a killer whale.
Killer whale, and Nathan's got a squirrel. It's a cute little squirrel, which is sweet.
Aw.
I've got a Lego car, which is really awesome because it's like is it a speed one? What's it called? Speed. Speedy. Anyway, it's got wheels, and you can wind it up and it races along the floor, which is really, really cool. And Joe's got a cute little teddy.
Yeah.
So, you're very welcome. We've got lots of exciting stuff coming up today. We've got art time, which is awesome, with a really super simple bit of artwork. We have got a story time, another homegrown story about Danny and some lions. And we've also got song time, as ever, for you to get your groove on.
Yeah, but first, because we're looking at Daniel and the lions, we wanted to know whether any one of you had actually seen a real lion. Yes. Fortunately, they're not walking around in the United Kingdom because I think I'd be a bit scared. But we have been to safari parks and zoos, and we've got some lovely pictures to show you. So first up, he's you can see the cars are going past, and so we were travelling past these lions, and there's one. They are big.
We drove through the middle of them.
I know,
they
so
ran across
big.
the front of the car, and it was terrifying.
Incredible.
And we were in a Land Rover.
And they didn't seem to move fast. If we go on to the next one, they don't seem to move. But then here we have an action shot of one, don't we? They were moving. They looked like they were moving quite fast there, didn't they?
The meat person came along.
That's right. The meat arrived. That's an impressive
That got them
picture
moving.
there. And here's another one there, just in the distance.
That's an albino lion.
Yeah. So they're a bit lighter, aren't they, in colour? And then here's some more white sort of lions, a group of them looking the other way. Wonder what they're looking at, what they're eyeing up. But they're incredible animals, incredibly beautiful, very powerful. They seem to be quite sort of docile and kind of quiet and gentle, but I'm sure they're not. And Daniel and the lions, we know that he could have been in a lot of problems, but we'll find out later what happens to Daniel. There must be loads of stories as well, so do share pictures of lions or tell us about your lion stories, what you've seen, where you've been to see lions for real. But do you know any stories about lions? I found one. I'm sure you can find one as well. This one's, can you see that? Is that right? Good Father. And this is one for little ones, and it's by Chris Tomlin and Pat Barrett. And the reason why I share this one is because there's a lion, and the story is about the lion who's the good father. So I think you might enjoy that. But do share with us stories about lions. I'd love to hear from you. So without further ado, it's now story time. So for our story time, we're going to have... What is it, Andy? You've written this story, haven't you?
It's Danny and the Lions. Well, Danny in the safari park. Danny in the zoo.
Ooh.
I wasn't quite sure of the title. It's Danny anyway.
Time for story time.
My name is Danny, or Dan to my friends. I like cycling and walking in the park. I love swings and slides too, and I can often be found in our local safari park and zoo. Man, do I love those lions. They're a little bit scary though. Well, obviously not for me, but I am kind of glad for the super strong fence and that they're over there and that I'm over here. Well, where I live, I work for this guy called Darius, and he's quite a good boss, really. He says I'm a good worker, he says I'm faithful, because I work really hard and because I try to make him look as good as possible, and I try and make the business do as well as possible. If the boss benefits, then we all benefit, right? But I always get the feeling that the people I work with, well, they're not quite as happy with me as my boss Darius is. You see, when the lunchtime bell goes, well, they're off like a shot. But they always seem to take a lot longer to come back again when they've finished their break. I like to help them out too, so I take my lunch break and then I spend some time praying for them and all the problems in their lives they talk to me about. Pray for them, for my colleagues, for Darius. I actually found a room that never ever gets used, so I go in there and, well, I close the door so I don't disturb anybody, and I open the window because it's a bit smelly in there. Well, one day I'm doing my normal lunchtime prayer thing, got my prayer on, and I hear laughter from under the window. It was my colleagues, and when I got to the window I saw them running away with a video camera tucked under their arm. Turns out they'd filmed me praying. Darius was quite upset. You see, he believed my friends, and he'd made a rule that nobody could use his name unless they said King Darius. Otherwise, the memo said, whatever a memo is, that he'd be fed to the lions. Well, I thought he was joking, but it turns out he owned the local safari park and the zoo and the aquarium too, where my colleagues suggested we go for a field trip on the company bus. And when we get to the lion enclosure, my colleagues stopped the bus and then they threw me out of the bus, right in the middle of the lions. They drove off with screeching tyres and never looked back. The lions looked at me and I looked back at the lions, and then they started to walk towards me and I realised I was on the wrong side of the fence. But it seemed to me that all the lions had big cheesy grins on their faces. And then I saw this bright light from behind me shining forwards. I thought it was a car with its lights on full, and I turned around and I saw that it was actually a man who was really, really bright and had angel wings. I was starting to wonder what sort of a safari park this really was. Meanwhile, Darius was getting a bit more upset by the minute. He was glad everybody was calling him King Darius, but he was also quite upset that I'd been actually fed to the lions. You see, I made the most money for the business because the people I spoke to really trusted me, so they bought more from me than anybody else. So all of my colleagues threw Darius a big party until he forgot about me. But the next morning, Darius woke up in bed really suddenly, with a sweat on his brow. What had he been thinking? He got in his car, dashed to the safari park, and was quickly waved through when they saw it was the boss coming. He got to the enclosure with the lions. He saw me with the lions lying around me with big cheesy grins on their faces. He jumped out of his car, he ran towards me, and then he saw the chap with the wings, and it was then that I think he properly noticed the lions. As he slowly started to creep backwards towards his car, he saw me happily chatting away with the lions and with the angel. Turns out that the lions like playing with balls of string, just like my little cat back home. Darius was quite relieved. Turns out when he said he wanted me fed to the lions, he didn't mean quite like this. All turned out well in the end though. Darius said that all of my colleagues who had tricked me into getting me fed to the lions were going to sleep with the fishes. And since he owned a large aquarium too, I figured he was going to send them to work there at night time instead. I never saw them again, but when I went to the aquarium one day, the shark saw me, winked at me and started smiling. Danny.
It was great.
Danny at the zoo. Yeah, I was inspired by our trip to the safari park many years ago.
Yeah.
I hope you still got your toys. I'm playing with mine because it's got a little seat that moves, which is really cool.
Ooh.
So I like to play. So, right, we're coming up to song time. Got a couple of great songs for you to get involved in. Get yourself some COVID-appropriate space. About 2 meters would be appropriate for you for actions as well. And we've got a couple of songs for you to get involved with. We're going to have Our God is a Great Big God and I Am a Child of God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. Our God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. He's higher than a skyscraper, and He's deeper than a submarine. He's wider than the universe, and beyond my wildest dreams. And He's known me, and He's loved me since before the world began. How wonderful to be a part of God's amazing plan. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. He's higher than a skyscraper, and He's deeper than a submarine. He's wider than the universe, and beyond my wildest dream. And He's known me, and He's loved me since before the world began. How wonderful to be a part of God's amazing plan. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. Yes, He holds us in His hands. Yes, He holds us in His hands. Yes, He holds us in His hands. I am a child of God. I know where I come from. A child of God. I know I belong. A child of God. I know where I'm going, for I am a child of God. No point in trying to make me afraid. I know that I am loved. I thank you so much, Jesus, I am saved, for I am a child of God. I am a child of God. I know where I come from. A child of God. I know I belong. A child of God. I know where I'm going, for I am a child of God. When I think of things which make me fear, I pray that God's above. The Holy Spirit shows me Jesus is near, for I am a child of God. I am a child of God. I know where I come from. A child of God. I know I belong. A child of God. I know where I'm going, for I am a child of God. And when I think of things which make me fear, I pray that God's above. The Holy Spirit shows me Jesus is near, for I am a child of God. I am a child of God. I know where I come from. A child of God. I know I belong. A child of God. I know where I'm going, for I am a child of God. I am a child of God. I know where I come from. A child of God. I know I belong. A child of God. I know where I'm going, for I am a child of God. I'm a child. For I am a child of God. And one more time. I am a child of God.
Wow, we had a dancing whale then, dancing to that lovely music. Thank you, Peter, for that. That's great.
Sometimes we do the actions today, we were joined by a whale.
Yeah, you don't have that very often, do you? Dancing whales. There you go. Here's a show with a dancing whale. Hope you enjoyed that music. I'm a child of God. It's just brilliant. And so we're now going to art time. Now, art time, we're going to do something really simple. We're going to do some colouring, and obviously we're going to be looking at lions. So have a go. See this art time today. For art time today, we thought we'd just do a really simple colouring. And as you can see, we've got 3 different types of colouring that you can get from our internet, from the Berry Bunch site. Here, we've done one earlier. Peter coloured this in with crayons. With this one, we've got an angel on it, and there's Daniel in amongst those lions. They seem to be giving him a big lick there. And I've chosen this picture with 2 lions, and Daniel's there praying, because we've really concentrated on the story of Daniel being saved, and the lions were friendly to him. They liked him, which is nice. Now, I'm going to choose paints. So I've only got red, yellow, black and green. Maybe you've got more paints at home, and I've got paintbrushes. So basically you just need the colouring sheet, or maybe you can draw some lions yourself and whatever you want to colour it in with. Now I've got some paintbrushes, so I'm going to start, I think, with my lion here and colour him in here. Paint. I haven't painted for a long time. I'm hoping I'm not going to go over the sides. And there we go. I think I might use a bigger brush because that one was going to take a long time. So I've got a bigger brush here to whoosh all the colour in there with the body with this lion. I've got 2 lions on this picture. If you wanted more lions, there's 3 on that one. And there we go. Oh, that's lovely, that is. I think that painting is very relaxing. So it doesn't matter how old or young you are. I'm sure you will enjoy painting these lions. Whoops, I've gone over the place. I probably should have used a smaller brush there. Oh, I've got a bit of black. I'm going to use a black. I know the black nose is already there, but I'm going to make it even more black for the nose. Like that. What else can I paint black? Carry on with the bodies. There we go. 1, 2. And obviously you can spend lots of time. Oh, I think what I'll do, and I've got some water here to get rid of that colour. I'm going to do the mane in red. There we go, nice vibrant colours. Go around the mane. How's that looking now? There we go. Oh, I did his in red. And then, I think, because I've only got green as another colour, poor old Peter's going to have a green outfit. I'm not sure he would have worn a green outfit, but I don't know actually, he might have. There we go. Of course you can colour your Daniel in whatever colour you would like. There we go. Oh, I'll tell you what, I don't know what colour Daniel's hair was, but I've only got yellow, so I'll do blonde hair. And there we are. Oh, maybe I'll do a little bit more black on the ears. There you go. So I hope you enjoy colouring in the picture of Daniel and the lions. I did enjoy doing some painting, so I hope you will enjoy colouring in whatever way those pictures, and they're available on our website. And do send some photos in. If you do manage to do some colouring, that would be lovely to see your photos. And we've come to the end of our episode of Little Blessings. Hope you've enjoyed yourselves, but we are back next week.
Yep. A couple of things to plug. One of them is our Something for Sunday, which is something we do at the same time as we're doing Little Blessings. We do also Something for Sunday, which is a weekly all-age intergenerational super special Sunday thing. So we have some dramas and we have some memory verses. We have examples on prayer for families, and with all sorts of stuff going on. So that's really exciting, and there'll be a link at the end of this. The other thing that I wanted to do is a video plug for that. One more really exciting thing which I'm super excited about is Light Party. So 31st of October, churches are closed pretty much. They're sort of slightly open but not really. So we're going to do a live broadcast light party right here from our home here in the UK. 7 p.m. 31st of October. We have a happy pumpkin carving. We have art time with some really cool projects that you can get involved with depending on what you've got in your house. And we have aerobics and much more. So you are very welcome to join us for free as ever here on Facebook.com and also our YouTube channel. It will broadcast live to both of those at the same time, so you can join us then. That would be fantastic. So that's it for this episode of Little Blessings Online. Have a great rest of your day, evening, morning, or whenever you are watching this. Get involved, send photos if you want to of things you've been colouring in or your favourite toys. I'm going to keep on playing my little car. And with that, bye for now.
Bye.
Stay up to date with the Berry Bunch. You can follow us online, www.berrybunch.family. We're on facebook.com/Berry Bunch Family. You can also find us on Instagram and YouTube as well.